we have seen both teams have these sort of implosions at times where they've disappeared off the face of the earth. The Steel was sort of saying it. It's like an emotional roller coaster up and down. I also want to know how much he thinks about the Roman Empire. I imagine it's quite a lot.
Well, considering he's already bringing up musket warfare, you have to think that his historical delves don't go, at least go a little bit deeper than that. We'll see if we get any musket battles here. Everybody has a few more than just the one loaded in the barrel. But that's not true, actually. They have one loaded in the barrel. The rest are in a magazine, otherwise gonna jam. But for Koi, this attack side is gonna be pretty quick. Already breaching through mid into market, but the site still hasn't been acquired. And for KC, I'm surprised it's so passive. They are looking to take those headshot angles, but it hasn't worked out. Losing Tamazi already. No Viper's wall to help them on the way back through. Good nade, good damage. KC coming ahead by a little bit in those fights.
Yeah, a few low players, but ultimately, when it comes down to the pistols, a few stray bullets can be enough to turn the round on its head. Time ticking as the 5th man to this Koi roster. And that paranoia is sublime, so blind, but the trade has come through. Kept things even for now. The HP diminishing, and Array is just taking over completely. 4 kills in the pistol round. A sublime start for him. And KC are off the mark.
Really nice stuff for Narrate. Confidence build around is what
and
that
what's
is.
their round difference now, Mitch?
One higher.
No,
one
I mean,
higher.
what about for Koi?
One lower. There you go. You're welcome,
Perfect,
Tom.
thank you.
I pulled it up. So yeah, Koi. Oh wow. I saw Koi was in the negative, and I was sort of hoping that my memory was wrong. It was like a -4 or something. They're -11. So for them to win this is going to be, I mean, you need to stop KC pretty much
plus
now.
15. I think it's a. I'm not make. I read that somewhere.
They need to be,
I didn't work it out. So if it's wrong, it's not my fault.
So they need to do a remarkable job at chipping away at those rounds. And it is a 15 because Vitality would be +4. Obviously, if they win by a long shot, Carmine will lose their lead. Nice shots by Martin. Seemed like he was still running, but the effect wasn't there. Clicked right on the head. And for Martin, another orb as well acquired. Nice defense to start this off. And with pistols, I mean, I feel like that was a worst case scenario. You swing a corner, you see 4 pistols staring at you. Often that's not going to go quite as well.
Yeah, we've already seen a few of those rounds in our earlier matchup. Nonetheless, even just a decent defensive start. Like we are talking about like them needing like a 13-5, 13-6, something absurd to really get those rounds up. And otherwise, they're almost just fighting to help out Vitality.
13-5 and 13-6 pretty much, right? You need to have those 2 convincing results on the board to build up those 15 rounds that are in difference right now. Vitality have that lead to play with. Now, if you're on the side of KC in this round, you don't want to see too many losses. It has been clean to kick it off. But this is where the pistols do get dangerous, and I like it, Magnum. So the reason I was worried, he gets real close to that angle, and you know Corbinho, we've seen him before, he likes to get that little bit aggressive. Clean. And with weaker weapons, you're going to, but they took a few steps back, created some extra distance, let Koi step in, and shut them down. Very nicely played for the second round.
Yeah, and Andalucia flawless coming through for them. It's also been interesting because obviously you've got everybody sort of hanging around at the moment. I got to chat with both of the coaching staff of KC, and both of them I was like, really good chance to get to playoffs, and they went, we just want to play. Like we want to play as many games as we can. Obviously the league minimum matches is something that a lot of teams are worried about, and they're like, yeah, we're probably going to get to play like 5-6 matches in this tournament. We make it to playoffs, we get to play another. And I was like, yeah, it'd be cool to get to Madrid though. He's like, not really thinking about it. And there's a part of me that goes, yeah, right. Like, come on, you're thinking about it a bit, but at the same time, it does seem like for a lot of the teams, like, okay, maybe beating a Na'Vi or Fnatic would be wonderful, but they want to improve on themselves. I believe that most with KC and people like Eng.
Well, I think I like that element of it for a number of reasons that we'll probably touch on later. I was expecting maybe Magnum to stick around to try and get more out of this position, but once that trap is destroyed, yeah, he's back. He's out of there. Just trying to pick a quick kill. They've gone way in trying to hunt him down. Through the smoke, you're about to see a player emerge. Starzos swinging in, a triple swing to the spawn. A fight that KC weren't quite expecting. And the stun is dodged. On that side for Tamazi, he's a dangerous player, but he'll be forced back by the cage. They've bought some time to get into post plants.
I believe as well, yeah, they've retrieved the Thrash, so they can throw that ult in for a second time. They know that there's been players pushed up into the spawn. Well, I don't think that's going to have caught anyone, but it has given the information. A little bit of a recon dart thrown out. A lot of different flashes and utility being expended. Shin's done well. leaving it down. Starzo getting decayed every time he goes through and left them to just 40 HP anyway. They're in a great spot. He's got to hope that he can spam through and get something here. In the meantime, he's trying to fight Shin. They've just defused. Nothing that Starzo could do. An easy round for KC in the end. And they're going to try and take this gun away. And wow, they will.
They had enough bodies to throw at it, that's for sure. The 3-0 start, that's a devastating blow to Koi. Again, a team we're talking about, and they know this. They're very well aware they need to be dominant in this victory with the format that we're in. And for them to start out 3-0 down on Koi, losing out on an important round, the one upside that we can draw from it, as we'll see once we get out of these replays, they are able to scrape together another buy. And with ults almost online, in particular Starzo and Shadow just one away, they could recover this round and attempt to play hyper-aggressive. It worked in their last matchup, but it will not work here.
But that's the thing, because we've just seen Carbine Corp have the map off, they just watch them play this. They know exactly how they want to be explosive on the attack. And Martin's like, you know what? A 50-50 duel on the defense, I'll have him. I've got this one, no pressure. And that's the thing, you can have the utility set up. I almost feel like as well, the utility support for Camo wasn't particularly good. It was just that he was winning a lot of the fights anyway. Like, you'd see a stun, you'd see a paranoia, neither would hit, and he'd get 2 kills. You go, yeah, that was kind of good. This time, nothing hits Martin. He wrecks him.
I think if you go back as well and look at some of the setups that we saw in the last game where players were hyper-aggressive around A main and B main with basically being caught in what I'd call the danger zone. Somewhere that once those barriers go up, when you've got blast packs to play through, you can easily close the distance, take those fights up close, and decimate your opponents. And you don't want to be in that danger zone early unless you're ready to fight. One thing we've seen here is, oh no, okay, just the one. Just the one and he's out. So that's an advantage for the retake at least, but Rolling Thunder is online for Koi. They'll have to get so much value out of it if they use it. But in a round like this, Tom, you'll be tempted to. The economy is on the line.
Yeah, the fact is this was a retake setup. All that was needed was to confirm that advantage, and yeah, I don't think Shadow's even going for this. It might do now, though. Getting a kill back again, the Dizzy is just sublime. The utility out from Narrate is great. They're going to use it here. Shados has to go huge, and he gets nothing! Absolutely nothing! Magnum finds the kill. The stun's still there, at least up to Narrate. I can't believe how little they got. I at least expected them to get 1.
Yeah, I mean, the Rolling Thunder's used, though, it catches 1 player close. Nobody can swing on them. There's only 2 players alive. One is using the ult, the other's closer. They hear 2 players pushed up into the air, stunned up. It should be easy, but Magnum is there. He's further back, and that ult, the Rolling Thunder, as you can see, it just doesn't reach him. It doesn't even come close. So he's able to cover them, take that kill. It could have snowballed. If that first frag is found onto Magnum, things fall apart. But the thing is, when you hear that player, close left corner, land on the ground, you go, oh, I'm swinging. I know where my crosshair's going. You're not ready for Magnum to be in no man's land taking the fight. 4 in a row, 4 defuses as well. Koi have had no trouble in getting onto sites. They've had a lot of trouble in holding onto them.
Dropping spike.
Maybe looking to try and pick up the pace a little bit here. Starzo's actually been spammed a little bit through that smoke. And the Prowler may have gone through. I believe it. No, it actually hasn't destroyed a trip. They placed it in a different position this time, so it's actually done nothing. I think the chances of this being a clean game have quickly diminished, and at this point, Koi almost have to just look at this as, let's get around. Let's get onto the board, because we've already witnessed this once. But this time they're on the attack. This is the side they were better at last time. Right now, they are being bullied by the side of Carmine Corp. Building up into what looks like an A-take. The thing is, I've really liked KC in their retakes. They've been fantastic at each time. These Dizzy flashes from Narrate have been perfect. Some of the best Gecko I've seen throughout the tournament.
Spike planted. There.
Well, best of luck to Starzo in this duel. 63 HP, already being spammed. Daddy's up close, though. Good damage done. I didn't... Well, it's not quite gone according to plan. The numbers are thinned out. That's not too bad. The showstopper trade +1, but then the kills come KC's way, and a big performance needed by Shados. 2 opponents to take down. They could be defusing. He doesn't know. And with the reveal, he was pushed back. Good shot to follow up, though. He will not find it. Tamazi just about gets that across the line for the side of KC. It looked like it was going to be a much cleaner round, but with 5-0 on the board, they won't be breaking any sweat just yet.
I want to know, like, this would be someone absolutely wasting their time, but is this the most times in a tournament we've seen people kill themselves with a showstopper? Because I feel like it's up there. Like we saw Zipan do it earlier, and we've seen a few other players do it since, and it is very funny. I also feel like that kill in particular was completely unnecessary. Like, he could have just kept going and try and get someone on the side, but he was like, no, my teammates now can't run in because I'm going to turn around and showstopper right at them.
Yeah, that was my thought. Why it kind of caught me off guard. First of all, the fact that he got himself, because I thought he was far enough away. Second of all, the fact that he even fired it. There must have been some clear communication to his teammates, like, get back! Because if he fires that in and takes down like 2 guys rushing the smoke, that could have been very awkward. But it worked out. They got there in the end. And KC, 5-0. As we said, you know, for Koi, ultis will come online. They used the Rolling Thunder not long ago, but they still have Starzo. Fade ulti online, Shados as well. I don't know how much the Neural Theft will get, but match that up with the From the Shadows on KC. It's not going to be a very ult-heavy round. We're back to the basics. And so far, that is where KC have definitely thrived when it comes down to the basics.
Yeah, I think also the thing with KC that's made them different to most other teams in this tournament is they actually have been really thriving on their defensive side. Like an 8-4 defensive half versus Vitality, 10-2 versus Foot as well. And okay, they struggled a bit more against Giant X, but every other team I've been sat there going, okay, if you'll probably get 9 rounds on the attack, but it's not been the case. And for Koi,
where are you?
Well, this map is already looking pretty damning. We're talking about them needing, like, yeah, 13-5s or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, that's not looking very likely, so it probably means they're going to need to go for a 13-0 on the next map, which I think that's even less likely.
Why not do it now? 13 in a row. Same thing. Why do something tomorrow you can do today? Well, let's see if Koi can make use of that philosophy.
At the moment, they have to look at trying to win the map. That's a bigger problem, because again, if KC win this map that they're currently 5-0 on, they are through. Now, we will still play the rest.
For fun.
For a bit, yeah, for a bit of banter. Maybe Sue will come up here. I know she's been begging to cast, but let's give Koi the benefit of the doubt that they will actually be able to turn this one around. Magnum prime position. The double peek looking like it's going to come through. A little bit labored. And Tomazi there to support. Still Magnum gets one, but Camo and Grabinho have managed to strike at the same time.
Well, they certainly know Camo's around market. Fresh information for Tomazi. He's holding his ground for now, but, well, they're not following up on the utility. I guess no intention to play backside, just to try to buy, like, okay, now I don't know what was going on. I don't know what the idea was. Good kills. Camo on his 3rd already. There's a chance it was a messy round from the side of Koi. I'm not sure we'll be seeing that one on the Telestrator. Lothar, your choice. But they've won it. They've got it.
Let's let Steel do that one.
Yeah, Steel, break it down for us.
But yeah, 5-1, they're onto the board. Definitely messy. Like, nobody guarding the player who's planting the spike. Definitely problematic. And to be honest, Shin may have actually been able to win off time. Of course, I think he's hit by the Nightfall, so I don't even think he could hear if the player was going to plant again, and his position completely revealed at the end. So doesn't quite go his way, but yeah, as scrappy as it can get. Financially, it's putting Koi on the brink, but the same could be said for the other side. Magnum's back down to a Spectre again.
There.
We are going to see the push coming in onto mid. This is something of a regular occurrence, but there are 3 players on this side of the map. Showstopper is probably the ult we're going to be looking at, but there is also a Viper's Pit available for Tomazi.
Good safety net, at least. Koi adopting a slower approach. The mid control will be fought for. For a second, I thought maybe Shin was throwing a paranoia, but he's just going to pop a smoke. There's no one ready to fight, really, on the side of KC. This is, I feel like, a setup that's on the back of it, expecting Koi to wait for aggression somewhere to try to punish any info taking, and there you go. Human recon dart used up, and even a little bit extra info onto Shados. So they know there's a lot of players in B, but look at the spike. It's on its way.
Oh, it's a ruse, and it is a ruse that has worked perfectly. But after not seeing anybody
30
actually
seconds left.
head their way in, they're actually starting to double back in the other direction. You can see a tentative bit of hesitation. Now aggressing into mid. I quite like this from KC. They're putting themselves in a position where they're not going to be able to do anything on the A side. The only worry is the fact that Kama was in behind.
Yeah. I mean, he only fired a rocket, so understandable that they had their knife out when taking that fight. Questionable decision making. I think just a messy round.
On.
Again with the raise silent utility. I keep missing that one, Tom. You know, it's all on me. So that trap was broken. Feel free to turn around, Shadow. This is messy from both sides. But Koi, hey, they're in a 2v3. Maybe they can make the best of a bad situation. The spike still needs to be defused. Nade's being burned up at least, so not going to be pushing them out of the corner anytime soon. Now I can throw in the little guy to go for the defuse, buy some time to take some fights, and all three guns primed and ready when it came down. Fighting time, 6-1. KC back on the saddle, and we need to see a little bit more from Koi. Again, almost just frustratingly messy at times from this squad.
I think the thing that is frustrating about it is the fact that the idea is not a bad one. Like, they go for the initial setup of throwing Camo in onto the site with the showstopper. It pulls the rotations. They have an A site for free. And then I feel like they get caught more trying to catch them on the rotate back than they actually do focusing on what's going on the site.
I feel you, Barbar. Yes, that was actually the appropriate response to what you just witnessed. Let's see if we can get a smile on his face after this round. Let's see Koi on the attack find that success. They've got rifles again, but still, the problem is KC are building up valuable ultimates. They've not only got Thrash, but a Viper's Pit, as you said last round, Tom, that's still there to be used. And for Koi, it's not even about winning the round with them. You need to start burning these ultimates up. Getting that weapon, or the economy, sorry, of KC under control has been done pretty well. Despite a 6-1 lead, they haven't really got credits if they lose this round. So it's not like it's out of their hands yet. They can very quickly close that gap on the side of Koi, but they need to find some opening duels. Starzo at least causing problems with the trap being destroyed.
There's two players around here, though. This is space that is being given and not missed. Nice entry, though, for Camo. Something he does expertly well is taking fights 1v1 without a lot of utility support. Magnum, though, has been able to trade things back. His one-way cages have just been filthy. Thrash is available, potentially going to catch someone, but mostly just being used to clear these close angles. And I think that did that. No, it didn't get Grabinho. It wasn't quite far enough into that smoke. They may not even know that he's within this angle. He's going to TP away. That will give them the sound cue. Camo also just hiding within the smoke, lurking, and actually almost catches him while he's trying to pick back up the utility, but instead falls at the hands of Narrate, leaving the two players in main. The snake bites forcing them back. The spike already being defused, but Grabinho has just popped every single head.
A little bit of an outlandish close to the round. I think Narrate even tapped the Thrash to try and bait someone into peeking, because he had that gun up extremely quickly. But the fact that you see this lineup in the end, little bro is diffusing and everything. Trying to get it across the line, but it's not to be. And for Koi, yes.
It's still not a smile.
It's not a smile. But he seems
He became
less
Italian
frustrated
for a second, but other than that, no smile.
We're getting there, bit by bit. If Camo can keep up these entries, no doubt. We're close to seeing Barbar break that smile out. Now it's pistols for KC. And Narrate has picked up the opening duel. This is a little unfortunate, but it was a spam through on the back of a trap. Now they've got to try do it when there's not any utility to help them out. Unless Tamazi gets close enough to Viper's Pit, but I doubt it.
Oh, they're actually going to aggress instead. Not looking to just sit back. Nobody there. They're all wrapping around from behind. Little bro sent through first. Nade to try and force them forward. They do isolate a duel. Turn it into still a possible scenario. Bringing it into the 1v1. Somehow Martin has put this in a position where they could actually win this round. You can see though Starzo still has his Horn online. Sitting back, but it's an aggressive push. Horn will be broken. But at this stage, needs to go for the fight, needs to try and take him out before that is his last bullet! But I don't think he has enough time. Starzo just about burnt enough of that clock, but damn was it close.
Sigh of relief again will wash over. I don't think that's gotten a smile out of Barbar either.
No.
He doesn't like the close rounds. He's not a fan of them. You can see why.
When your opponent's on eco and it comes down to a 1v1 and the only thing that saves you is time, I'd be a bit worried if he had a beaming smile on his face.
Well, maybe we'll get to see. The fact that, oh yeah, oh yeah. That's a happy man right there. He did, hey, that's kind of a smile. It's kind of a smile.
That's a manic, like
that's a man losing his mind.
That's like you put a guy in a white room with a straitjacket on going. That was you watching Liquid yesterday.
Yeah, it was a tough day. It was a very tough day, but we get through them.
The screams were heard throughout the building.
One step at a time. Me and Barbar can have a group therapy session after.
Imagine if you'd had to watch them play 2 games today.
No, I don't think I could have taken that from a cardiac perspective. Koi doing pretty well. They've got control of the site, the plant down nice and easy. It's a buy round from KC. It's actually looked easier on the way through than it did when they were on pistols on that defensive side. But here's where things are going to look a little bit worse. Rolling Thunder blitzing on in. It might have caught one of them, but it doesn't matter. The whole point is to send the rest of the squad running. Comboing at the same time, using this showstopper, I guess just stops them from saying, oh, you're going to use Rolling Thunder spawn, we're going to fight for market. But now they're going to fight for market, and they're going to fight very well for it. Low HP on Camo, he's quickly dealt with. It's only Shados. Blink, and you miss it. KC on the retake. Make it work quickly, cleanly, and efficiently.
You'd be surprised which team used their ults that round. The thing is, I don't mind the initial idea of if the Rolling Thunder and the Showstopper, if you're to shoot that Showstopper into spawn, because they probably have fallen back in that direction, and then I guess once you don't get anything off it and Tomazi gets a kill, you're trying to just delay, but KC have been very happy to play retake. Look at the scoreboard. They have diffused every single round that they've won. So it definitely seems like maybe holding that just for a little bit longer. But again, I feel like Koi are just going to be kicking themselves because they get in the afterplant. They have 2 really high impact afterplant ults.
Viper's Pit.
And KC used nothing. Like, they have all of their ults, and, well, the last one they don't have from the Shadows is 1 away.
Oh, this is such a nasty setup, man. Not only the Viper's Pit, but the trap inside it, so far away from the Viper. No way that you're getting close enough to deal with him. Now they can solo play the A site, an angle that normally needs 2 sets of util or 2 sets of eyes, only has 1. But it's Magnum, who's under a lot of pressure. Oh, and he's hit the shot! Stunned up! Somehow he makes that work! That's the luckiest thing I've ever seen, and followed by the unluckiest! Caught with util in hand, the hat off his head for sure as Tomazi closes that one out. A clean round for KC. Devastation on the side of Koi.
I don't think that was the player he was aiming at.
No, not quite. Not quite.
The worst thing is as well is I feel like in that moment, Koi reacted going, we have a chance in this round. They use Nightfall.
Show me. Show me.
I swear he's aiming at his
fastest reactions you've ever seen.
But yeah, they used Nightfall and didn't expect Narrate to still be around that angle. Now, Narrate has been playing around mid almost every single round, so it's quite surprising that he ends up using that, and now they don't have it for this round. No ultimates even remotely close. Koi have used them all over the last 2 rounds, and they barely got anything for them. Now, on the other hand, Showstopper and Thrash available. Again, we're going to see this push through mid. This time there is a cam literally just sat waiting for them to try and go through. This has been such a high pressure point for Koi with limited success. In terms of them getting the round difference, we'll talk about it when going into the next map, but that's if Koi managed to win it, which at the moment, look unlikely. Camo, though, he has been that one glimmer of hope. The one guy who seems to be able to turn some of these rounds on their head. And he's given them a double opener here. I think there's about to be a trade back. What? He didn't even see the player close. Instead, he takes down another Magnum as also even things up once again. But it's left all onto Narrate. He has the info, has his ult, but well, using it here, not going to be easy because he won't be able to move while he's doing it. Would need a spot where he can catch both players. Instead, he's wrapping around through the spawn.
Planted.
It's nice. So much info, but he's actually been blinded. He can't even peek the corner just to grab the information. He might have seen them both. That flank from Starzo is perfect. His timing couldn't be any better. Can narrate expect it? Oh, he's just about dodged him. Up in the corner. Here goes the little guy, but he swung. The timing perfect on the side of Koi. 4 rounds. 4 rounds found. Tom, it's not over yet. A convincing map 2 with a map 1 win makes it doable for Koi. But they're 4 rounds down at the half. KC already have 8. And the conversation from the desk and from us has been about how this needs to be a clean win.
Well, yeah, I think even from this point onwards, they'd be able to lose something silly like 3 rounds. I think that's genuinely where we're at. So if they lose 3 more rounds in this map, I think they're already, well, they're basically, if they win 13-11, they have to 13-0.
Yes.
That's where we're at. So you can do your own maths from then onwards, but if for Koi to qualify...
That would tie.
Yes. For Koi to qualify, it's bleak. And we're talking about if KC don't win a map. If they win a map, it's done. In every regard, same for Vitality. If KC win 1 map, it is over, and they are 5 rounds away from doing just that. They now go on to the attack side. Koi's defense, well, let's put it this way. The last time they played it, a few hours ago, they were 9-0 down before they got a round on the board. So hopefully they've learned from their prior mistakes. Or for their sake, hopefully KC have a worse attack. Not convinced of that one.
Great flash on the way through. Oh, slight light, but it's okay. No one was there. And Koi are playing this one in a very similar way to what we saw from KC on that defensive side. The full retake setup going to be attempted, stun in already. They attempt to slow down the players backing from site, and they can catch them by peeking into market so quickly. So they know someone's still stuck on site, but here comes the Dizzy yet again. The flash through, the damage done. Everybody on Koi, or at least 3 of them, are below 50 HP, and Narrate's making that look very easy. Camo was full, and he's now being dropped, making it 20 HP in the difference. Good night and sweet dreams to Koi as KC pick up a 9th. 1 step closer to sealing Koi's fate.
Yeah, Narrate has been superb. Like we talked about the sort of one America's import. We spoke to Magnum in our interview, and he basically said that this guy played his practices, basically his trials on 100 ping, and was still better than everyone else. And with not a lot of experience playing on Mad Lions, and before that, not a lot, he has looked like a standout for this team. Great pickup, and, well, you expect nothing less from someone like Eng, from Zaysh, both at the helm. A spot in playoffs may not be a thought on their minds, but it is a huge upgrade. Think about last year. Think about what KC fans had to go through. And they might be making top 4 first time around with victories over the likes of Vitality, Koi if they can close this one out, but also fighting tooth and nail throughout their group. For now, at least, they found the opener onto Starzo, a 10th round looking inevitable. And although we've been talking about round difference, it's getting to the point of irrelevancy because there needs to be some sort of catastrophic disaster or a massive improvement from Koi once they get that bye round out, because right now, well, I don't blame them. I think they're just looking to die to the spike.
Playing the numbers game, the percentage game, even this far behind. 10 rounds on the board for KC. Like you said, Tom, tying it up with Vitality for Koi means winning both. 13-10 here, best case scenario. You're gonna need a pretty convincing map 2. Have a 15-round win difference, plus 15 in this series. That's what they're looking for. Some damage, 1 weapon dropped.
That's worth it though, because that's Narrate having Thrash online.
Yeah,
like, even if he hadn't died, the 2 kills would have actually done it. But yeah, he's coming into this round with an ult. And honestly, at this point, yeah, I was about to say, he might as well buy up a rifle, because I think even though it's a little bit audacious, a little bit risky, I don't know what Koi have got to do to turn this around. They are being dominated.
Well, yeah, there's if there's one simple solution, then if you can find it, I think there's a team willing to pay you a lot of money to come and find those things more frequently, because there's a lot going wrong on the side of Koi right now. And this map, like we said, for KC, picking this, it just makes sense. You just watch them play. You got to sit in the crowd, watch that game, take some notes, and they're not going to change a lot in a couple minutes, are they? Gonna go backstage, eat, pee, and get ready. Oh no, good night. Hello. That's one of the more awkward fights we've gotten to see. Shadow as well doesn't know what to do, to go forward or backwards, loses some HP to the snake bite, but he might get his reward now, peeking around tiles, clean onto Tamazi, who had no idea he was being followed, pursued, as KC get the plant down. It's a 3 versus 3. Some weaknesses here. Now, right in particular, he's got a big rifle, but very low health. But he might just have the timing on the way through. It's going to be checked surely. Oh, nice shot! He's out as well. He's made it back around the corner with 18 HP. Sure, Shadow gets him, but it's ball time for Shin. And now the peek back through. They're not expecting another. Surely, there's no way you anticipate Magnum's position. 2 players already from that spot. The defuse being stuck to half, now spotted. Magnum stopped it before it even touched the halfway mark. Another jump peek to confirm. And then the kill to close it out as well. KC, one step closer to victory. This map win will put them in the playoffs.
Yeah, a huge story. You were asking if there was anybody you could think of who might have a fix for this. Funnily enough, I think he might be on the KC side. We've talked about Eng and the fact that he hasn't had a team within EMEA for such a long time. Went missing for a bit, went over to Americas, and well, he's brought someone back with him, that's for sure. Sat right at the top of the board.
The contrast between Eng just giving a high five because it's requested, a little write down the notes.
Yes! This man has made it to a Champions Final and won a Masters. You think, yeah, top 4.
But now he's 11-4 on Sunset, Tom. Yes!
Yeah.
No, I like Zeiss's energy. I like Eng's brain. Whatever's going on in there.
I want to study it, that's for sure. 11-4. This is going to have to be one of the greatest pauses of all time. And not only of backs against the wall, playing your 3rd map in a row, but also, more importantly, playing a map that, as you said, you literally lost on 2 hours ago and have had no time to fix. Your opponents, in the meantime, had a great showing on it earlier in the day with a victory versus the team you lost to. Now you've got to somehow come up with a way to come back from 11-4 when they are firing on all cylinders. There isn't a player missing. Like, we've had Magnum have a bad day at the office. He's 14-7 right now. Narrate, wow, don't need to highlight him again.
Do you reckon we can get a Salah cam during this just to see the hope fade from his eyes round by round?
Why do you want that? Do you know what I want right now? I want to see an unhappy Salah. Why?
Sick of seeing him with a smile on his face.
Somehow I reckon that somewhere Gorilla's still giggling to himself.
After some of the plays, I wouldn't blame him.
He's still thinking about Sender running and jumping. He's like, hee hee hee, that was good.
That was a highlight of Sunset for sure. 20 hopping kills. Now, quick play from Koi to try and take control over mid. 4, in fact, 5 players are pushing middle.
It's bold.
They're grouping together. Hey, sometimes their attack side is being a little bit better. So let's go back to it. Start attacking them. I like it. But they get spotted by a cam and it's time to fade away. Yeah, the element of surprise is a big factor when you're defending and you've got 5 in one spot. And now the element of surprise leads them to taking down Magnum. He's not ready for someone to be there. Lovely.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Found B.
Oh, never mind. There goes Tomazi. So that's at least the lurks. It puts them in a good spot for the retake. They're now going to know what's up. Everybody over on the other side of the map. No ultimates to play with for the side of KC, so it will take a heroic play to turn this one back around, and they are going aggressive. Looking to try and fight into the spawn. I don't know if the Jiggle Peak will have actually caught them. They've got a cage to try and section them off. Nothing found. Paranoia is going to blind everybody up, but there's no one actually peeking off the back of it. Martin does have a nade available. I don't know if he's going to want to try and throw it in here. He's just waiting for somebody to peek. First shot connected, second as well, and they're just mowing them down. Somehow this has become competitive once again, but Grubinio finds the kill. They've, however, left Narrate behind. If you want anyone in this clutch, it would be this man shot. Misty baits out the second player, though. And now all that is left is Starzo, but doing them in a 12th round, and Starzo, he's run out of time. It's ring around to Rosie, and 3v5. They just can't lose. Red Bull clutch for Carmine Corp.
Match point.
12-4, and at this stage, I think the nail is well and truly in the coffin. It could be just a formality for the side of Koi. 8 in a row, double what they already have consecutively. It's a big ask. I think even Blaze and Uli and Uri are giving up at this point.
Oh, never.
Hold on, let me take the headphone off. Can't hear the Spanish casters, isn't that funny? I don't know how that works.
You
can hear the French casters,
you remember where Masters is,
yeah,
right?
I know. I'm not making good life choices, but here we are. Oh, a little push. I like it. Starzo, he's not going to lose the confidence despite the fact that rounds have not been going their way. They won't feel shut down. The aggression doesn't see any reward, though. We can see quite clearly that KC were challenging the B site, but it looks like they're second-guessing it. They're going to leave this one wide open. We spotted the trap, but it doesn't even destroy it anymore. Look at mid. Little spot for Magnum. Surely you don't expect Camo to be here. No, he does. Oh, but he still wins the fight! What a devastating blow! And Starzo's gone too. It looks like they've already started to crumble on the side of Koi before we even see Thrash coming into effect. Shin's gone to look for info. Stun hasn't hit Grabinho at least, and he's able to catch Shin. There's still some life left in this Koi roster. Still some hope to be found. Although I think Martine's just about to steal away the last sliver of it. That spray is clean. KC, they picked up the map. And on the back of that, shut down any hopes and dreams for Koi and Vitality fans out there. The rest of this series will be played out, but the conclusion is already written. KC have booked their spot in playoffs.
Yeah, this is a brand new roster. They picked up a big boy coach, a new IGL, and some youngsters. And to make it the top 4, incredibly impressive already, but that road isn't done just yet. Still an opportunity for them late.